Hey guys, I have a new light, as you can probably tell. I also have a new microphone. Well, it's not really a new microphone so much as my ghost hunting microphone that I now actually have a setup for it. So I'm kind of excited. I feel like a real YouTuber now. I may not be going through this particular problem at the moment, but it's something that if you are a writer or if you write on a regular basis, you will probably be pretty familiar with this feeling. Staring at the page, you've just written this excellent build-up and you're like, okay, cool, I know what happens after this. How do I write it? Writer's block is the bane of every single writer's existence. Whether you write fiction, whether you write non-fiction, whether you write articles, or whether you're writing a text to your ex-boyfriend and you can't exactly figure out the right words to. Fortunately enough, writer's block is actually one of the things that I was going to say I'm very good at, but I'm not. I'm well versed in. I get it a lot. Mainly because I have such a short attention span. Fortunately, because I have courted the dark mistress of writer's block for so long, I know a few of the ways that you can deal with her that you may not possibly have seen from other people. The first way that I try and deal with any kind of bout of writer's block is by trying to write more. Though I think for me, the problem is usually that I'm trying to focus too much on this one particular thing. And usually it'll be one little thing. Whether you're doubting the last sentence that you wrote, like, oh, is it the best build up into here? And that's kind of combined with, I'm not really sure how I'm going to write this scene. I'm not quite sure if I should bring this person in, and I know that I want to say this, but I don't know the right words to say. You get stuck on this one little thing, and suddenly this one little sentence turns into like the Grand Canyon of words. So of course, when you're struggling to write good words, sometimes the best thing to do is write as many bad words as possible and then sort the wheat from the chaff. This is something that I actually picked up when I was doing NaNoWriMo for the very first time in, I think it was 2013. Word sprints. They are amazing. If you ever have any trouble trying to flesh out a part of your book or a character or a scene, or you have no idea what's going on, word sprint. It gets you into the frame of mind of doing away with this self-doubt. Like, the time for editing is not now. Now is the time for writing. The time for editing, that comes later. Editing is for later. You shouldn't have to edit your words in your head before you put them down on the page, because editing is for later. Word sprints get you into the right mindset for putting these words from your head onto the page. You set a timer. It can be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour if you're feeling particularly adventurous. Though usually I only go for maybe about 5 minutes. You sit down in front of your keyboard. Sometimes I will listen to some music that might coincide with the particular scene that I'm trying to write, or sometimes I'll just put some silent earplugs in so I'm completely blocked out from the world. And then you write. You don't stop writing. Even if you don't know what to write, you write. I don't know what to write. The main point is that you're pouring words out onto the page. You're forcing them to come out. And I guarantee you that if you do that and you commit to that wholeheartedly for that first 20 seconds, your mind's gonna find something and go with it. The human brain is made for making connections. We think in narrative structure. So if you're sitting there trying to put things on a page, it may come across as random at first, but then your mind's going to order it. And who knows, you might come out with a brand new plot, you might come out with a character twist, or you might come out with a brand new book altogether. Idea number 2, look at other sources as a prompt to find your lead for whatever it is that you're working on. So one of the things that I love doing is I have a collection of tarot cards. They're all here. That's half the collection. And every single one is different. Every single one tells a story. And this is the awesome thing about tarot cards. Now, it doesn't have to be tarot cards. If you've got photo albums or a book of photography, something that hasn't got words, something that's got some kind of imagery rather than words, that will work just as well. Hey, you could grab like a normal playing card set. You could walk up to the last magazine that you bought and flip to the first page and look at the picture and go, all right, I'll use this picture. The idea is that you want to look at the picture and write down, describe what you see using, you know, the 6 descriptors: who, what, when, where, why, and how. So, for example, I will admit I did get this deck for purely one reason. It's got Aries on it. The idea is that you look at the picture and you describe what you see. Not just, oh, I see a man and he's muscly. Well, hey, you know, that might work too. If you're having trouble describing a character, if that's where you're stuck in this particular bout of writer's block, look at magazines, look at books, look at tarot cards, oracle cards. For example, what is this? Why does this person not have his arm? Does it link to a Greek myth? Was it his lover? If you can come up with a narrative from looking at this particular picture, then see if there's a way that you can work that into your story. If you want something a little bit more abstract, I have a deck of Kansari cards. Boy, a whole heap of toy blocks that say devil. So obviously it's talking about some kind of Damien thing. But hey, there you go. You could add a child or child blocks, memory. You could talk about a person called Damien. You could talk about reincarnation. All sorts of things like that. Another reason why I love the Kansari cards is because they also have these symbols as well. If you're looking for a name for a character or a way to describe a character, you know, you can use a random letter. If you're looking for ideas for tattoos, for nicknames, anything. A lot of people get so caught up in the story that it is that we're trying to tell that sometimes, and I do this so much as well, I know the major points and the signposts of where my story is going. But when it comes to the people that are going to be acting out the story, sometimes I just haven't thought about them. It's like my brain doesn't want to allocate the required resources to process and make those decisions. You have to force yourself to think on it. And the fact that you came up with a story means that you've got a pretty creative mind. So look at what's around you and draw from that. The last thing that I can suggest is to be a little bit more airy-fairy. Keep a dream journal. Now, I understand that not a lot of people can remember their dreams. Not a lot of people dream as such. Unfortunately, I remember my dreams about 3 times a week, and believe me, I have had so much writing material come from my dreams. However, because they're dreams, the only reason why I remember them is because I write them down. if you know that there have been times that you've dreamt and it has affected you somehow, like you've gone, oh wow, that was really weird that I had to kill this zombie in a golden glassed building and the zombie looked like my dad. If you know that sometimes you remember your dreams, just like keep a little notebook or something next to your bed, and when you wake up in the morning or when you're having a breakfast or something like that, just scribble it down in dot points. It doesn't even really have to make sense. The whole idea is that when you read back on it later, you're gonna have these little chunks of narrative. You're gonna have these little descriptors sitting there. It's like collating your subconscious creative musings that happen whilst you're asleep. It's actually really cool. You can build yourself up this tiny little creative database that I've actually had 2 books that mostly came from dreams that I had, and one of them was a dream and the other one was a nightmare. And let me tell you, the one that's coming from the nightmare, part of the reason why it's not done is because it scares the shit out of me. That's how I know that when it's eventually finished, hopefully it'll be good. When it's eventually finished. Dream journal. Keep it next to you. Or you can call it whatever else you want. I mean, I don't really like calling it a dream journal. I just call it a notepad. Going to sleep and keeping a thing that has big letters dream journal just doesn't, the stigma associated with this kind of stuff is stifling. Anyway, those are the 3 most useful ways that I've found that I can help overcome a hump of writer's block. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to let me know. Look me up on Twitter and let me know if the audio was alright, if the video was alright. What do you think? Because this is pretty much going to be my setup for now, and let me know if it works or if it looks weird or if I sound, well, okay, no, don't let me know if I sound weird. I'm pretty sure I sound weird. Bye!